DJ Scream, Corey, what's happening? Spins on the beat.
It's Hoodrich Radio, you better not change the station.
It's Hoodrich Radio, you know what it is, DJ Scream. It's time for another superstar check-in, and today my brother is in here at Hoodrich Radio rocking with us. Young Dro, what's up?
What's up, little bro?
Welcome back to Hoodrich Radio, bro.
Man, feel good.
The reality show, usually we won't talk about the album first, but your album's called The Reality Show, man. You got to explain that to me. You got to explain that to everybody. Like, the album's called The Reality Show.
I mean, you know, real is real, you know, and I do speak like real. You know what I mean? Everything I really just like rap about is like reality.
Right.
And, you know, I've been getting a lot of like offers to be on reality shows. Everybody think I should be on one.
Yeah.
But my situation is a little more complex than that.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So I just went on ahead and gave my own self my own reality show.
In the form of an album.
Yeah.
I like that.
And also I did like I got a visual for you too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's like a webisodes or something coming, or
yeah, it's what actually is my pilot.
It's your pilot for a reality show.
Well, I really want to my life story. I want to do, like, I want to take it to the movies, write a book about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the reality.
Yeah,
yeah.
Man, you've influenced so many people in Atlanta, like musically and otherwise, from a fashion aspect and everything. I'm surprised to see you not with any polo on too. By the way, I just realized you're Nike down today.
Yeah.
Just one of those days. But Dro, you ain't never been in no movie?
Nah.
None? Anybody ever hit you like, we want you to play this role, and you just didn't rock with the role? You like?
Well, I had I supposed to been Big Boy in ATL, but
wow.
You know what I mean? That was the only thing
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would have liked to see Dro as Big Boy in ATL. I think that would have been fitting.
Yeah. I really want to do acting though, you know. But I really want to take it serious. I wouldn't mind going to Juilliard, taking up a couple of classes because the art is very respectful. The
Reality Show, the album is out now.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between this album and some of the more previous ones?
Well, with this album, I kind of like poured out more of my feelings and like, you know, took the walk of shame on a couple of tracks.
Right.
You know, admitted some things that, you know, people were questioning about.
Okay.
But most of all, it's just the reality, you know, and it's a show.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right. So you got a little more personal on this particular album.
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, cool. Now, when we see stuff about Young Dro and you know, websites and different blogs and all this other stuff about craziness about this, that, and the third, well, how do you feel when you see craziness on blogs and when people talk about you and say crazy stuff that might not even be true?
I think about, you know, people talked about Jesus Christ, man. Who am I?
Right.
You know what I mean? But, you know, I can't let nothing like that bother me because, you know, it's just like being a weak person. You feel me?
Yeah. To
be living off of who talking and who saying something.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time when people talking about you, is the fact that, you know, if they were talking about themselves, when nobody probably listen.
Right. Got you. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Periscope, Facebook, do you feel like all this stuff takes away from the music?
I actually don't. I think that us as humans created these things, and they are very, very articulate things that, you know, they're very, you know, like building a car. We're humans, like computers, you know.
Yeah.
And it's easy for somebody to just mash a button and get on, but don't get afraid of something that us as humans created.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But if your passion and your heart is not into it, it'll come back to get you if you're not really like
right
hands-on street grinder.
Got you.
Yeah.
But let's just say there's a tough ass rapper, right? He's tough, and everybody knows him from being tough. And then one day you just get this tweet, and then you're like, wow, that tweet wasn't tough. Like, that kind of goes against everything that you ever said. Or let's say it's a female that you kind of respect, or you think she fly, or whatever the case is, then she kind of put herself out there on Instagram and do something that's, you know, against what she stands for. You don't think that kind of compromises the artist a little bit?
I mean,
because Dro is Dro. You're Dro on Instagram, Twitter, real life. Yeah. Like, there's no inconsistencies with you. But some of the other artists, it seems like there's inconsistencies at times.
It is what you make it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't judge anybody off of a quote or something they said. You feel me?
Right.
We all say things that we don't mean, you know, make a mistake and say. But if it continuously happen, then that's probably you.
Right.
But if you know, a lot of people then tweeted out stuff that they really didn't mean. They was probably in their feelings, and it's okay. That's a human condition.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. Young Dro is with us, man. Set up this next single, man. It's called It's on that reality show. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, I mean, the title of it is you know what I mean? Like, see a 5 car passing by, You know what I mean? If your old lady breath stink too bad, If you in coat and they give you 5 do 1, turn up, man.
Now, what's next for Young Dro, man?
Mostly like music. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep staying and tackle this music like the way I want to. You know what I mean?
You've had a hit every year for the past forever. You always keep a hit, like.
Yeah, I love music a lot, but I don't wanna make that like put that before like what I got in my heart, like for my family and my friends, you know.
Yeah. And
I don't think that I should slave for music. I'd rather be a slave for God.
Got you. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. That's absolutely real. Young Dro fashion line, some type of clothing, man. You're too fly, bro, not to have a shirt, a jacket, a hoodie, something's got to be coming, you know what I mean? Anything?
Well, I kind of leaned off the route for a second.
Okay.
And I kind of like tuned into our own apparel, which is Hustle Gang, cool.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Tip's doing a great job at that.
Very great.
And, you know, just dabbing, you know what I mean? Trying something new.
Okay. All right, cool. What would Young Dro's campaign be if you ran for president? We see, like, Donald Trump is running for president. Some other rappers saying they're running for president. Tell me 3 things Young Dro would change around this motherfucker.
If I were president?
If you ran for president, or what would you tell the people you gonna change if you was president?
I would change poverty.
Right.
You know, I would what else would I do? I would make sure that, you know, everybody who does not have is well aided up until the point where they're on their feet and can become workers and earners like everyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And most of all, I would lock down on schooling for kids, you know what I mean? Because that's very important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think it is? Why a lot of the youth might not just be interested in school or education at all? What do you think the problem is?
Because you know, the distraction is very shiny, and it's very like you really want to. It's like it makes a young person curious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just want to let them know that it's only a light. You know, it goes out once you walk up on it.
Right.
You feel me? And once you obtain these things that you think you really want that bad,
right,
I think God has a way of showing you that you wasn't ready for it. And you know what I mean? Once you do get those type of things, He'll be the one to give it to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just sit, be humble, patient, and you ought to be able to knock it out.
What up, DJ Scream? Corey, what's happening? Spins on the beat.
It's Hoodrich Radio. You better not change the station.